So this problem tells us, in the problem itself, it says make a scatter diagram to determine the quadratic model. So it is telling us that this data is going to be quadratic. We'll go into stat, input all the data. Once the data is entered, you might want to double check it to make sure your data is correct. Okay. If you're off, if one number is wrong, your answer will not match the correct answer. But for purposes of this example, we'll go through it, and you'll go through everything that I'm doing, but you're going to accept my answer is correct because my data is correct. Okay. How do you go about generating a quadratic equation based on this data?
You go to stat, calc.
Stat, calc, good.
And then forward.
Stat, calc.
4, 5.
Okay, we're doing a quadratic regression. Since we want a quadratic, we don't want a line. Number 4 is a line. Number 5 is a quadratic. So press 5. Hopefully your X data is an L1. Hopefully your Y data is an L2. We don't mess with frequency list. We're going to go ahead and store that equation into Y1. So I want to store the regression equation into Y1. So how do I get Y1 there?
Bars.
Okay. Or alpha trace. There it is.
Wait, I meant to bars on accident.
I did too. Oh, she talked too much, man.
How
Okay.
do you go there again?
That's weird.
To get to the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha trace. Guys, when you press the alpha button, you actually have 3 sub-menus. Y1 is the fraction menu. Window is this function menu. And trace is the Y bar. So if you don't remember which one to go to, if you just push alpha Y equals and then look at it and go, oh yeah, I want that one. So I can change between these 3 different menus by just clicking on them. See that?
Oh.
So to get to these 3 menus, you press alpha. So once you get to alpha trace, it's Y1 is right there, you press enter, and now I'm going to store that Y1 equation. I'm going to store my quadratic regression equation into Y1. Enter, enter. There's the value of A, B, and C. Now, as we write this equation down, I do not expect you to write down all of those numbers. We've been doing a lot of rounding, 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places, whatever. But as far as calculating, we're going to use the exact value because it has been stored into Y1 for us. Does that make sense? Okay, do y'all have the same numbers as me?
Yes. No.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
If you have, hopefully your numbers are close to mine. If your numbers are not the same as mine, it only takes 1 data point to make it different. Okay? Don't worry about going and changing your data. I want you to go through the process with your calculator, but use my numbers when you write down answers, okay? Who has these numbers? Luke, do you have these numbers?
I do.
Okay. Luke, tell me the equation of this quadratic. We're talking about hospital visits, so I'm going to say h of x equals, what is A?
Wait, what are we rounding it to?
Let's go 2 decimal places. 2 or 3, I don't care. 2 or 3.
Negative 0.16.
X squared
Plus 49.07.
x
Minus 2,695.52.
So that is the quadratic model rounded to represent this data. That makes sense? In order to see this data, I need to, I'm sorry. No problem, sorry about that.
Get wrong,
Yes, I have to run numbers.
You know it's on your screen, right?
Okay,
All right.
sorry.
We entered a lot of data in stat. Now, some of the calculators might already be changed, but we're gonna go through this process anyway. By default, the calculator goes from -10 to -10, both in the X and the Y direction. Okay, with this Y-intercept being -2,695, it's way down there. And it's going down. So, yeah, you're not gonna see it. In order to see it and to see all of your data, we need to turn the scatter plot on. All of our data is in stat, and right above Y equals, you see the word stat plot. Second stat plot. You should have been here, you've seen this before, I'm sure. You might have forgotten about it, that's cool. We're just gonna talk about it real quick. Yours might currently be off, mine's already turned on. If yours, regardless, whether your turn is turned on or off, go ahead and press enter on that one.
I am very lost.
Wait, really?
Go to second stat plot,
Oh, I found it.
Enter?
press enter. If you're off, go to on and click enter.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna go through what these settings are. That first one under type, that is a scatter plot, that's what I want. My X data is an L1, that looks good. My Y data is an L2, that looks good. You can determine what kind of a mark you want on your screen for each of the data points. I always leave it alone as a small square. If you want a plus or a big circle, that's okay. Don't ever choose this little bitty one, because when you make a line go through it, you will not be able to see the data. Whereas if you have a big dot or a plus or a square, you'll still be able to see each data point, okay? And if you want to change the color of your stat plot, you can do that too. Okay, if you want to use red squares instead of blue squares, I don't care.
Oh, I'm using magenta. Hey, that's one.
Okay. And blue's gonna be happy because now magenta's involved. Got it.
What?
Blue's Clues.
Oh.
Come on, the dogs. Blue's Clues.
Magenta's the girl dog. Or I think they're.
They're both girls.
Oh,
Wait,
what?
Oops,
They're
I
both
was
girls?
shipping it. I thought
Well,
they were like in love or something.
Yeah.
Blue is a girl dog.
Blue's a
too.
girl?
No. No way.
That's a lie.
Are you
Love is
sure?
love.
You
Love
just-
is
you're
love.
Okay. I've got a granddaughter. I watch Blue's Clues and you all the time.
Love
Okay.
is love.
You're lying. That's I can't.
They're in love. I don't care what you say.
What?
Press zoom. Did you look it up?
Yes.
And blue is?
Girl.
A girl.
Okay.
I've been lied to. I've been lied to my entire life.
All right. If you press zoom, if you want to be able to see all of your stats, the best choice is zoom stat, number 9. So press 9,
Whoa.
and you will see your data points, and you will see a curve that should be fairly close to all the points. You should see approximately the same number of points below the curve as above the curve, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so it looks to me like this quadratic does fit my data well. Okay? All right, so back to the problem. It said to make a scatter diagram. We did. We made a quadratic model. We're good to go. Next slide.
Oh, wait. I never got the last
How do you
2,
change the
6,
color of
9,
your model?
5.52, okay.
You change the color of the line. Right there.
Wait, we're changing it?
No, she just asked how to do it. I'm answering.
Oh my god, that is so cool.
Okay?
So we can make it
There you go.
magenta?
All right, moving on. Part B.
Mhm.
Using that model, using that equation we just came up with, predicts the number of visits in the year 2016. Now, when I was preparing the notes, I did round to 3 decimal places. We can do this one of 2 ways. We can plug whatever value represents 2016 into this equation and do it manually. Or, since the equation is already in the calculator, we can go to the table and scan and scroll down to it. But that's from 0 to 116 is a long way. Or we can do the table set and make it ask, right?
We should do that.
Now, What is the X value that you're going to enter that represents the year 2016? 116. Okay, so I will go to my calculator.
That's a lot.
I don't know why Visual C is wanting to do something. Okay, go away, cancel, stop it. Okay, go to table set, second table set, change independent to ask, press enter, go to your table,
Oh, whoa, I'm so sorry. was
No,
not
I
paying
cleared it all out.
Go to
and type
Oh my god, I
116,
didn't. I'm so dumb.
and that's recorded.
And then you
Beautiful.
go into
Okay,
the table.
Well, I
Okay.
looked at it and it was empty, and then I look at yours
Yeah.
and it's empty. Oh, my white one's switched into 2. Oh,
well,
my
that's
god.
because that's what Y1 was. That is Y1.
I love this.
Okay, so here's what we found out. We found out, I wrote F here, but we called it H a while ago. It doesn't really matter. We found out that H of 116 is equal to 822.15.
Wait,
What's that mean?
That's the, in 2016, 822 visits.
Is that right? In 2016, there were 822 visits?
Yes.
822
Million, okay. In 2016,
wait, why'd you put
there were
116?
820, because if 99 represents 1999, then 100 would be the year 2000. There's 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2012, 2016. Okay? 822.15 million visits.
To a hospital?
And if we're taking a stats class, we would say something along the line was based on the data, right? To kind of tie it together. Based on the data, I would predict that the number of hospital visits in 2016 was around 822.15 million people.
Well, that seems like a lot of unnecessary.
Okay.
words.
Very necessary in stats. Very, very
I
necessary.
accidentally signed myself up for that class.
Okay. You did?
On accident.
That's a good class to take. And
We're done.
that was the end of 3.1. Let me stop the recording and then I'll immediately start the recording.
Gosh,
So what I'm hearing is you're gonna record us just working on 3.1, right?
No.
you sure about that one?
I'm thinking there's a little miscommunication between us.